So we all are equal in whatever we do, anything we do, we all are equal.
Right.
And God loves us so much unconditionally that sometimes we cannot as humans comprehend. We start to get angry that why. But then what I have realized is that God does not have the power. He loves us so much that He has given us the power. And all He does is say, okay. So whatever you say, God is going to say, okay. That's something beyond imagination.
Correct.
And God is beyond our imagination. Seriously, He is.
Hello everyone, I'm Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book Pep Hack Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs and more. Today I have with me Miss Cheryl Dabhi. She is a dedicated spiritual teacher and a healer who embarked on this transformative journey in 2015. Her uniqueness lies in profound spiritual experience akin to an awakening or enlightenment where she received a divine purpose of connecting people to God. The extraordinary experience, which lasted approximately 1.5 months, was followed by a period of memory loss and being in a state of Sunya for several months. During this time, Cheryl lost her ability to communicate in language such as Hindi, English or Gujarati, as well as her understanding of various gods and goddesses. So it took her nearly 1.5 years to regain a sense of normalcy. She channels the information, healing and spiritual truths she imparts directly from the Paramaatma, Supreme Being itself. Cheryl's primary healing modality is rooted in God's love, and she offers a range of unique services that have a global reach. These services include WhatsApp sessions and programs such as Chakra Activation. This is a 9 months program. Shiv Shakti Activation, Maha Basic Chakra, Pitru Seva, Navratri Cleansing, Gupta Navratri, Diwali Session, DNA Activation, Mind Brain Activation, and a Superhuman Activation program spanning for 5 months. She also conducts insightful talks and discussions covering spiritual truth, the spiritual way of life, and the truth about Kundalini awakening. Cheryl further extends her offering to worship, workshops conducted via Zoom and offline platforms. These workshops develop into mastering manifestation and spiritual accountancy, spiritual liberation and anti-aging, angel card reading, featuring Ma Lakshmi and Ma Saraswati, Akashic Records guidance, and God's connection leading to moksha. Her extensive array of programs and workshops are all administered as a profound blessing of divine grace. Today she will be discussing with us about her life journey. So let us hear from her. Welcome Cheryl, the platform is open and now over to you.
Thank you very much for having me here. Yes, Jitendra ji, tell me.
So first thing I'd like to know from you is how did your past life has affected the person you actually wanted to be in your life and what you are. So it's moreover related to our childhood memories. We always have certain thoughts that this type of career or that type of career we want to choose in. So from that thought to now, how the journey was.
So my past life since my childhood till date is nearly in 2 parts. The first part is what I generally remembered, and I always wanted to help people, very inclined to heal people. I did not know what the word healing, but somehow in some way try to help people. If I see someone in pain or not healthy or they are sick or they are ill, I would always be there to take care of them, nurse them in whichever capacity.
Right.
And my dad very fondly used to tell me that, because we are small children, so if he would have headache or anything, some backache or something, would say, oh, you have magical healing hands. Can you please press my head or whatever, in small little ways. But I would always be there to, in some way or the other, to take care of my, not only family, even my neighbors, I remember. And that is how my life went on. I always wanted to heal people and always wanted to search for ways to heal people.
Right.
So why do I say it is in 2 parts? Because once I got enlightened, when I looked back, I could remember so many things I could recall that I was actually talking to God. I was actually talking to many gods and goddesses, angels. I could see them. I was really talking to them. And what are the, episodes? There were so many episodes in my life. Since my childhood, I was in a very deep conversation with God and goddesses. And I also remember talking to the Paramaatma, the God, in my earlier age, say around 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, after which the understanding of Jesus, because I'm born in Christian family, the understanding of Jesus came into my life. But as we see children, I was inclined towards pious child, good child, and a very, very happy child. All my relatives tell me that I was always a very happy child. That was my past. When it came to education, somehow whatever information I'm giving to you, you will understand the future implications of that. Somehow not all, but most of my teachers, they were not so comforting. There were a few which were really cruel, and eventually I ended up not having teachers. Means that I started studying by myself, Swadhyay. I did my Swadhyay. I would just sit with my book and my book would teach me everything. So at that point of time, I started to connect with the book. Because I had all the angels and everyone 24/7 with me, which I later on realized. At that time, it was a child's play. So we were just friends, and I don't even realize that, it is of some importance. I thought it is a normal, natural thing. So I naturally was taken into the direction where I do not have any teacher, or I am not dependent on a teacher. So that is how I started to study, and I did my schooling very well all by myself. So that's how it is. After which I did a lot of jobs. So I have a very varied study spectrum. So I'm a BCom graduate. I'm a designer from NIFT Gandhinagar. I'm also a naturopath doctor. I eventually became one. But I have studied science, arts and commerce all nearly at the same time.
Great.
So my dad is a lawyer, so I would assist him as well. So I don't know 24 hours how many hours are there, but I did so many things simultaneously at the same time. It was like a cocooning, being prepared for something which I did not know of.
Amazing. So you did so many things at the same time. That was amazing. So
Yeah.
if I ask you things you are passionate about in your life, what are those? And what is the role of motivation and inspiration onto it further?
So I'm passionate about creating. I am a creative person, very creative person. I cannot leave my hands like that. My hands always work. Creating is my passion. Helping people is my passion. My passion is to be, to be of service. So I cannot just sit by myself. And if I have someone who is not in a problem, I'll be the first person who will be out there to take care of that person. So that is my natural passion. Creativity is my passion. Love is my passion. Those are the two main passions I have. As far as motivation is concerned, I'm a self-motivated person. I have had so many downs in my life as far as schooling is concerned. And, till my schooling was there, I was not in I had a lot of failures. And I was literally put down really many, many times. At that point of time, I came back by myself. So I'm a self-motivated person. Inspiration. So, I have my favorite inspiration, Dhirubhai Ambani. He is my all-time favorite. When girls used to have Shah Rukh and Salman in their pockets and, in their books and some places, I don't know where, I was always connected and drawn to Dhirubhai Ambani. And he was my go-to person. I have never met him in person, but he was always there for me. It's a very beautiful thing in my life that I actually talk to real energies. Okay, so Dhirubhai Ambani, he himself taught me how to do business. So after doing all these jobs and so much studies, I had my own business. Dhirubhai Ambani, he taught me how to do business. I started with 400 rupees, and in 1.5 years, I had 3.5 lakh rupees rolling. I'm talking about 2004, 2005. So God's grace.
Amazing. Nice.
Life is weird, yeah.
Right. So now if I ask you about like things you are working on, your work and experiences. So what are you actually working on? How you define your work as in a spiritual journey or support or guidance you do for others?
So after the enlightenment, I also realized when I came back in my normal self, I also realized that I am a very naturally looking at people's Akashic records since my childhood. So I remember one of the incidences where we all friends were just sitting, doing nothing, just hanging out. I was around in 2nd or 3rd standard, and somebody must have spoken about or talked about America having big laboratories and a lot of, jazzy infrastructure and whatever. So I just blabbered that आप लोगों को क्या पता, हम जब ऋषि मुनि थे तो हम गुलाब को पूछ के उसको तुम्हारे क्या गुण हैं, तो वो गुलाब हमें बताता था कि मैं सात्विक हूँ, मैं तामसिक हूँ, मैं क्या. So this is out of syllabus answer, and my brother was there. I don't remember naturally me doing weird things like this, but my brother was there, and he went to my mom and he said she started it again, doing all crazy answers. That is the time I remember that oh my God, why do I say such things, But then this is the attitude I had when I was just a little person, little child. And I was actually looking at the Akashic records, or maybe connecting to the higher realms even at that point of time. And eventually my future, my serving to people is that I guide them through the Akashic records first. I give them the right spiritual understanding, because what we are looking at is not at all spiritual. What we are looking in the books is not the truth. There are so many truths that are to be given. I am looking for the future where I give a lot of information, and also I want to serve people wherein I connect them with gods and goddesses.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. Like you've been blessed, I can say, from your early childhood.
Yeah, God's grace.
Great. So if I ask you further, like since you've been working on this spiritual journey, supporting and guiding people, so now what is your vision, mission and goal in life for next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, I did not think of, but now that you're asking me, my goal is 100% to serve as many people as possible. As I told you, I had a difficult schooling, not childhood,
Right.
but I did 100% have a very difficult schooling. And I want to vow to children and adults as well, because some way or the other we've been bullied, we have gone through tough, difficult life. So there are so many things that we have gone through.
Yes.
So I want to be a person who would always be there to take care of people, and I want to connect a lot of people to God, connect them to the true spirituality, make them fear less in God. That is my main aim, to make people fearless in God, that they should not fear God. As in, if I do this, then God will punish me. If I do that, God will punish me. Yes, I cannot torture people, I cannot harm people. And, that is not a good thing to do morally. But apart from that, idiotic things like, oh, I ate this, I did not eat this, thoughts, overthinking that we have are really, God does not really care about those things. And there are so many things we just keep on overthinking and overdoing, and so many things. I tell you, I have to tell people that it is okay, it is fine. God loves you. And
Right.
I am the person who has seen the love. So one of the gifts that God has given me is 24/7 I am in connection with God. There is no disconnect. Since my childhood, it was a different story, and now it is a realization, an awakening that I am truly. In one of the, when I met someone, he was in pain, and I tell you, Jitendra ji, spiritual pain is really painful. I tell you, there is no pain like spiritual pain. That's my child. So he told me that what should I do? Should I be a Hindu? Should I be a Christian? What should I do? Should I leave both the religions? I'm totally disheartened. I don't know where to go. Please ask your God, what should I do? So naturally, I don't have to ask God because he's 24/7 there. God said his name was Christopher. So God said, Christopher, remember, it is your choice to be whatever you want to, or to love me or not to love me. Remember, I will always love you. So it is such a profound answer by God that he does not care what I choose. I choose to be a Hindu, a Muslim, a Sikh, a Christian, whoever, or an atheist. But his answer is, it's your choice. But my choice is that I love you unconditionally.
Right.
It is really nice answer. And really, this is the answer. These are the answers. There are so many other answers that I want to give to people. I have so much to give.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So now if I ask you, you've been working on this thing for quite long and you have personal and professional journey so far. So from there, what are your important 2-3 learnings which you would like to share with us?
One of the realizations I had was that सच में, when people say that एक पत्ता भी भगवान की मर्जी से नहीं हिलता, that is the truth.
Correct.
And there are so many truths that are in front of us, but because of the society, because of a lot of people saying different things about the truth, we cannot see it. But it is right there in front of us. And before anything else, before anything, me being a daughter, a child, a wife, any name that you give me, before anything that I am, before anything that you are, the most or the biggest truth is that I am God's child.
Correct.
You are God's child. And this truth can never be taken away by any other identity or any other truths.
That's true.
So that is my realization. That's the first thing that God made me realize, that you are my child. It is beautiful.
Really amazing. Any other learning you would like to share?
Oh, there are so many learnings.
One more you can share with us.
There are so many learnings, I tell you. To general people, because there are so many profound truths, one truth is on the other truth. So it is it's not a learning. As I told you, what God thinks about me is that I'm most beloved. And when God looks at you, you are the most beloved. So we all are equal in whatever we do, anything we do, we all are equal.
Right.
And God loves us so much unconditionally that sometimes we cannot as humans comprehend. We start to get angry that why? But then what I have realized is that God does not have the power. He loves us so much that he has given us the power. And all he does is say, okay. So whatever you say, God is going to say, okay. That's something beyond imagination. Correct. And God is beyond our imagination. Seriously, he is.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, if I ask you, can you share the details of your profound spiritual experience and how it has shaped your journey as a spiritual teacher and a healer?
So, as I lived my normal life, which was not normal, but eventually I did not realize it was not normal. And I was frustrated spiritually. There were so many questions I had, nobody to answer. Even if people answered the questions, I did not feel the happiness, the content in my heart. Right. I was not at all happy. And that frustration builds. Spiritual frustration is one of the worst frustrations. Spiritual anger is worst anger. Spiritual pain is very difficult pain. So I had that pain, that suffering at a spiritual level, and I was trying to search for answers. So I thought that maybe because I will serve people, I'll feel better. It was a temporary thing. Eventually there was one time when, because naturally I started learning a lot of modalities. Reiki, pranic healing, soul healing, theta healing, and others, many angel therapy and so many others, but I was not happy. And in one fine such workshops and courses and blowing away a lot of money after them, doing a lot of work, and I did a lot of free healing, a lot of things. One such person, he started to sell moksha.
Okay.
And then, because, when we start to go for workshops, we become friends. So I called my friend and I asked her, what is he selling? What is the meaning of moksha? Naturally, I know. But then I was so frustrated that my mind was so going crazy. So she said that once you pay him 2.5 lakh rupees and you die, after that you are not going to come back and you are not going to take any more births. So that is moksha. And my anger was fuming, and from my ears there was fumes. My hands had fumes coming out. My leg palms had fumes coming out. I was so angry, so frustrated. And the problem is that I talk to God first. That's my first go-to person. So I was so angry and I was so frustrated. And I remember I was resting on my bed and I was so angry. I remember doing this on my bed and saying that I want moksha right now, because I was so angry. Why? Because what would I do with the moksha, and what would happen if I don't take next birth, and what if I take next birth? Who am I going to take 2.5 lakh rupees from?
Correct.
Logical. So I banged my bed and I said that I want moksha right now and I want to live after it. So that dialogue, last dialogue, in that much anger, in that much fuming place, fumes coming out of every part of my body, I was so angry. In that second itself, they were just waiting for me to say these words, that I want to live after it. I want moksha right now and I want to live after it. And I disappeared, if you could say so. That is the last thing I remember. That also, it took me quite some time to go back to, kya hua, what happened, what triggered. So I found out or realized that this is what triggered, and I don't know where I was. When I came back, I remember a few sentences, a few slight memories, that's it. When I came back, it was 1st of November 2013, 2:22 in my mobile phone. And I was walking in the middle of the road. I don't know where I was. I was just walking on the pavement and I was like, where am I? So that happened. And after that, when I came back on this reality, I had forgotten all the gods and goddesses. I am a born Christian. I have been taken care of by Hindus. All my family members are, my relative, my neighbors, and everyone is a Hindu. And I am a Hindu in my heart as well. I know so many things about Christianity, Hindus. I love them so much. They are all my friends, all the gods and goddesses, Ma Ambe, everyone. They are all my friends and family since my childhood. But after this, no memory. I cannot even say no memory. I would say no existence. I only remembered the Paramaatma. So the Paramaatma is not Shiva. The Paramaatma is not the form. The Paramaatma is not one. The Paramaatma is not so much. The Paramaatma is infinite. And there was no understanding at all of anybody. Now, in my home, I only have one photograph of Jesus. By the time I came to 2013, naturally, God worked on me. There were so many other people working on me. People as in Jesus and Sai and everyone. The whole team of gods and goddesses, they were working on me. And eventually, all the murtis were taken away from my life. So now I had only one photograph of Jesus in my drawing room. Now, naturally, there is a sofa, there is a photograph. Nobody can miss it. Like the photograph you can see behind me, you cannot miss it, right? And I was zombified for at least 4 months from that time. So from November, 4-5 months down the line, I was not having food. I was not eating well. My husband also was out of station. So I was all alone by myself in the house. There was only one staff coming in. She would cook, she would clean. Why do I remember that I'm not eating? She came and she shook me once and she started getting angry at me that why are you not eating food? I'm cooking, I'm going. It is 2 days you've not had food. Why are you not eating food? And she's getting angry at me that why are you not eating food? Why are you not eating food? I don't remember watching TV. I'm just sitting there. And it would have been around 4 months. And sitting there on the sofa, photograph of Jesus in front of me, I could not see, all washed out. And out of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. And guilt just came into me that how could I forget my best friend? I got God and I forgot Jesus, as in he was in front of me. So I said, I forgot you. And he says, Shant, because I'm a 3-language person. God talks me in any of the 3 languages or no languages. So he said, Shanti. And in that same moment I became, because I went so deep into guilt that how could I do that? He said Shanti and I was like, peace, very much at peace. And he told me, do you know what did you do? And I was like, no. And when, feeling sad and guilty maybe. So I said, no. His hand gestures were like this. He said, you have fulfilled my life purpose. And my life purpose is to connect you to God. So the whole Christianity, the whole Bible, the whole truth shakes off. Because here he is in his own truth telling me that his life purpose is to connect people to God. And somehow we have made him the God. And we've made all the gods and goddesses the God. But the truth is that you go beyond them. They are there. 100% they are there. We cannot deny. But what is their purpose? Is to make you happy and then progress. So the whole truth is different. So this is how after 4.5 months, I could maybe ballpark get my Jesus back. It took me 2 months more. So I could see Shiva. I could see Shiva and I'm like, I know him so much, but I don't remember his name. And then the chant came back to me, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. It took me 1 week for the chant to come back. And then I realized, oh, ye to Shiva hai. This is Shiva, Lord Shiva. So why did the chant come back to me? Because that is many lifetimes I've done many chants. And Lord Shiva is also my Lord. And eventually, slowly and gradually, all the gods and goddesses came back to me. They took their own personal time. I got back Ma Lakshmi in 2016. So 2013 and 2016 is 3 years. So slowly and gradually. And when she came back to me, she gave me messages, which I give to all, I serve as messages from Mahalakshmi. And then in 2017, I think, 2016. And then in 2017, I got Ma Saraswati's messages on her birthday. And then that is how they came back to me.
Amazing. Yeah. That would have been a different experience altogether, because normally we cannot think of that ways. So now coming back to the another one, if I ask you mentioned experience of a period of memory loss and being in a state of Sunya. After your awakening, how did this affect your perception of the world and your spiritual path? Some of the things you just mentioned, but beyond that.
So to be very frank, when you are in that phase, you don't know anything. Initially, when I came back in November, I did go out to people and tell them that something has happened to me. I don't know what has happened to me, but something has happened to me. And they would say that, oh, you're going crazy, just go away, And then I got back into my cocoon. I tried to, as I told you, all my friends, we were all going to do workshops together and all that. They all just left me. But before they left me, within say 15-20 days, I went to all of them and said that something has happened to me. Please help, please help. And they just said, you're crazy. Because naturally, such a huge thing cannot happen. Nobody knows such things, And you have to remember that I do not have a physical body guru. You remember, I don't have a guru. And I was always disconnected from the guru. So here also, I was always, even my spiritual teachers or those gurus, if I have never made any guru. So whoever the teachers were, they were always not welcoming. Somehow they would always detach and misbehave and put me down and all those things. So I was always away from the guru. So I did not have a ready reckoner. I did not have any guidebook. I did not have anybody to guide me. I did not have anyone, So I was just by myself. And after a few days, I just went into my cocoon. I was in the Sunya. I do not remember even having thoughts. I don't remember days. I don't remember months. And I could not talk the way I talk right now. I could not talk. There
Right.
was a lot of Shunya. And see, it is God's grace. So my husband was not there for 9 months. He had gone out for some job. All I had was my staff coming in and out. And she would also work, go back home, and sometimes interact with me. But apart from that, not much interaction. Or if she did interact, I don't remember. So I was in a totally cocooned state. I was shut off from everyone. And I don't remember anything else apart from this.
Right. So, if I ask you further, like, could you explain your approach to channelizing information, healing, and spiritual truths directly from Paramaatma? So, how do you convey these to your clients or students?
So, what happened is that before the enlightenment, as I told you, I was so angry, spiritually frustrated. I had so many questions. After that, I had no questions. I was questionless. So when people came to me, I just started to tell them that, this is the way God is. This is the way God is. God is like this. God is like that. This happens. And the trance meditation that I take people into, I myself have, God has taught that to me firsthand. I don't know anything about it. I gradually learned it because I take people into divine darkness. So basically it is darkness. And people would get afraid that you are taking us into darkness. Then I would say, try to explain that there is peace. It is like a film, film theater. We have to make it dark, so that you can see lights. So something of that kind. And then when Anita Murjani, I saw her video and near-death experience. So when I saw her video, she was talking about herself going into the darkness. And the way she explained it, I was looking at my mobile phone and I was with her saying that, yes, there is love. She said, there's a lot of love. And I had tears in my eyes that, thank God, somebody is now understanding what I see, because nobody understands me. Nobody. And there is this lady over the video, she's saying that, I go into darkness, and she went into darkness, and all she saw was love. Unconditional love, so much love. And that is the time I coined the word divine darkness. That is so beautifully dark, and it's so beautiful, and it's so divine. There is nothing else. So eventually, slowly and gradually, I got my pieces together. And then the healing that you are asking of, first there was no healing, because I did not have questions. So in one of the sessions where I was telling people about God and how God is, and connecting people to God, that was my work, to connect people to God. That's what God asked me to do. So that lady asked me, do you have healing in this? I said, I don't know. I never had this question. वो भी हो सकता है ना? Naturally, God is there, and He said, okay, this is the way it is. And that is the time when He said, from your antar, so from your heart, essay. So that is the time when I looked there, I could see a lot of light radiating. Because before that, I did not have, normal. I was in Shunya. So no questions, no answers, no nothing at all. So when the lady said, and God said, this is the way it is, I went and saw, and there was such a lot of light radiating from my antar. Antar is a space which is not a physical space. It is a spiritual space that it is still there. It is 24/7. And that is how I heal people with God's love, because I am just a simple channel. It's God's love who flows through me continuously 24/7. And that is what that heals people. So I'm just a switch. The current, it passes through me. So you just switch on, switch off, and whatever you want, all those things electronic gadgets will switch on, switch off for you. So that is how I am, just a channel.
Amazing. So, how do you believe your unique journey and spiritual modality can benefit individuals seeking spiritual growth or healing and connection to a higher purpose? So, how you help them?
So I give them the truth. As I told you, I look at their Akashic records. So I give them their truth. I give them the spiritual truth, all the questions and frustrations and so many things they have spiritually. That is what I give them. At physical level, all that answers I give them. There are so many things that I am growing continuously. God is taking me into so many things, because as I told you, I was totally into Shunya and I did not have any understanding. Memory to bhul jao, understanding hi nahi thi. No understanding. So eventually God gave me every single thing was given by God and is given by God. So that whatever you ask is what I give the answer. And it is not my answer, it comes from God. And there are so beautiful answers, so amazing answers, which cannot come from a human being. So it is the profound God's energies that I radiate, I continuously give away. And that is how I serve people in every possible capacity.
Right. Amazing. So now coming back to you again, if I ask you your thoughts about success, what do you think and feel about success?
Success. The problem is success we feel as a lot of money or a lot of property, I don't know what not. But the true success is when you are really happy. So I am very much successful. I am really happy. Also, I want other people to be happy, really happy. So even if anybody and everybody, whoever wants to just serve people or do something which we don't approve them socially, we don't approve them of social, that you don't have house, you don't have this, you don't have that, but then the person is happy, they are really successful.
Amazing. So in last, any message or advice you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
What I have understood is, once I came back to normal life, see, life is not normal anymore, but still normal people, because somehow I got really detached. So when I see them, I see them as they having totally different understanding of spirituality. There are so many people who say, I have been on a spiritual journey since 20 years, since 25 years, so many years, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They're doing so much that we cannot even imagine. But spirituality is so simple. It's the simplest of all. It is so simple. When you are happy in your heart's content, and when you are really happy in your heart, you are spiritual. So if you see a person who's cooking, like our mothers, they would cook and they would be happy, they are actually spiritual. We don't have to do so many chants. We don't have to go to a lot of places of worship. We don't have to do a lot of do's and don'ts. All we have to do is be happy in our heart. So some people may say that they may be happy by doing wrong things, but then in the heart, are they truly happy? And that will be the answer. Respecting self, respecting others, loving self, loving others, taking care of self and taking care of others is true spirituality. Freedom is spirituality. So it is very simple, just being really happy. And because without freedom, we are not happy. Yeah.
Right.
So that is as simple as that. Spirituality is just being truly, genuinely happy.
Amazing thought. And it's really important, like whatever you do, if you are happy, the purpose of that activity is really meaningful to you. Otherwise, like whatever you do, if you are not happy, it does not make any sense, does not make any meaning.
Yes. And the original blueprint or the original state of us humans or any creation is divine happiness. So that is our normal state, That is why when we have pain, we all want to go to being happy. If there are pains or whatever happening, we all are striving to be happy. So someday I feel having a house is my happiness. So I will work hard, toil, and build a house. Getting married is my happiness, then I will do whatever it takes to get married. Having children is my happiness, so I will do everything to have children and become happy. So happy is the real state, the spiritual state, which we all realize and know somehow, not in real, not written, bold and intellects, but somehow we just know, and we are always drawn to happiness. So because it is spiritual thing, right? So that's the original characteristic of us humans and all creation is to be happy and of service.
Right.
So that is what it is.
Amazing. So I must say the discussion we had was really amazing, and you shared so many insights about like spirituality, your journey, how that went through, how you got into an position where like everything was blank. You were in like dark divine thing, and everything was shunya around, and returning back from there to a new journey or new life, you can say, or from there you started working on like more closely towards spirituality, helping and guiding people and supporting them whatever ways possible. So that was really amazing, and I must say I really enjoyed the conversation also, because I am also like towards these type of things like spirituality and all, not exactly like true spiritual being, but have keen interest to understand and explore things that way. So I also liked the conversation, and thank you so very much. It was amazing discussion we had, and I also really enjoyed everything which you shared with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much once more.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also, I will share your social media link along with the interview so that people can be in touch with you, take your help and guidance also. And guys, don't forget to check that out too. Thank you so very much, everyone, for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching it. And you also got connected through a spiritual being. I also feel that. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you, and bye bye.